Hi there, Ted Alexander with Monarch Media, welcoming you inside the football offices here at Old Dominion, the latest edition of Wake Up with Wilder. Monarchs now 1-1, coached 31-7 at App State. A game I think it's safe to say was a little closer than the score might indicate, and that might add on to the frustration level.
Yeah, that's the word is frustration, Ted. I felt like we went down there and we were ready to play. We were excited to play, and first play of the game. For the second week in a row, we get a extended double pass type of an action. They ran an out and up into the boundary and hit us for a 40-yarder, and that really set the tempo for the first half. Our defense allows 318 yards in the first half, 24 points. Then comes out in the second half, Ted, 30 plays, 97 yards, pitching a shutout until they scored that touchdown late in the game. That's as good a half as defense as we played here in that second half. But the first half, 2 weeks in a row, that first play, which is going to be a point of emphasis for us this week in practice offensively. In the second quarter, we go 7 plays, 92 yards. You know, we're throwing, we're catching, we're blocking. I'm thinking, okay, now we're going to get this thing started. And we just could not finish in the red zone with Chris Kirtley being out. Chris is going to have surgery. He's out for the year. We had our backup kicker, Brad Davis, and in pregame, we had set his field goal yardage at 30 yards. You know, he just was not hitting the ball well from beyond a 30-yard field goal, and that's why we had a 4th and 5 on the 16, which Washington throws a beautiful ball to Pascal. He doesn't finish the catch in the end zone. When you're playing a team like that, it's going to be contested. You know, you're not going to get wide open throws, but he catches that at 7-7. We had a 33-yarder a little bit later on. He threw a fade ball to Melvin Vaughn, and Melvin went inside when David thought he was going out. They got the pick in the end zone. And then late in the game, you know, it would have been a 47-yard field goal. It's 4th and 5, but we needed to score. So the frustration was not finishing drives, and then the frustration defensively was, if we do that in the second half, why not the first? And it was all the first play of the game, Ted.
So you put all that in a basket after the Monarchs go to 1-1, and what do you work on this week? How can you adjust that or tweak that or fix that?
Well, the number one thing I told our players is the attitude we played with, which I'd only seen one other time. I'd seen it at the start of Marshall last year. That attitude we played with, where they had intimidated Tennessee at Tennessee. They got in their face and got after them. Their center on the first play against Tennessee takes the D tackle into the bench, gets a 15-yard penalty, and that set the tempo. Well, in this game, it was just the opposite. Rashad Coward played the most dominating game I've ever seen out of a D lineman at Old Dominion. He took that center, and by the end of the game, that center wanted nothing to do with him. You saw Wilson, 11 tackles, 3 sacks, best game he's ever played. Justice Davila had 10 tackles in the first half, our safety, and those were down in the box tackles, Ted. They weren't all down the field, you know, touchdown saving tackles. Unfortunately, cramped up in the second half. So we had some performances that were impressive to see. Our offensive line and our defensive line, Ted, I challenged them before the game that they were going to have to play well. Both sides of the ball, they played well. Our offensive line, all those kids, Ted, played 76 snaps. They played every rep. They played well. They're going to get better. We've got the left side is young. We're going to get better in the offensive line, but the defensive line really set the tone, particularly in the second half.
The need to get better is an urgent one at NC State this upcoming Saturday. Wolfpack coming off a tough loss at East Carolina.
Yeah, and I told our guys, here's another opportunity to do a first at Old Dominion, our first ever Power 5 win. You know, it's got to happen on the road, but there's going to be 55,000. The crowd's going to be electric. I hope we travel like we did 2 years ago, where it looked like we had 4,000 or 5,000 people. I hope people will make the trip to come down, and our guys are really excited for this game, this big game. We got a lot of North Carolina kids. A lot of them are going home. Guys are excited.
Folks, put the chin strap on, buckle it tight. Join us for the Bobby Wilder Coaching Show Thursday night, 7 o'clock at Wild Wing Cafe in Chesapeake, and then we'll see you rolling to Raleigh this upcoming Saturday. For the coach, Bobby Wilder, I'm Ted Alexander. This has been Wake Up with Wilder on Monarch Media.